Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Not Only 25 and today we're going to be looking at the Stun Baton and why it just got even better in Alpha 21. The Stun Baton really is the most divisive melee option in 7 days. Some players absolutely love it and swear by its stun lock ability, AoE candy, and the repulsing mod that sends zombies flying, and they think it's one of the strongest ways to play. The other side of the coin is other players who seem to really despise its mere existence and its low outright damage, and they think it makes it less viable than, say, a wooden club for taking on the zombies. You know, I'm not sure what camp Jawoodle would fall into in this argument. I don't think he's ever publicly spoken about it. Someone should ask him. I personally sit more in the first group. I first used the Stun Baton in Alpha 19 and I was shocked at how much fun I had with it and just how viable I found it to be. But I do understand that it's not for everyone. Imagine my surprise when in Alpha 21 on first glance, it seems to have had a major buff, but then looking even deeper into it, discovering it's had an almighty buff. What am I talking about? Well, let me explain. So in case anyone who's watching isn't aware, the Stun Baton is a melee weapon that sits under the intellect tree and it's governed by the Electrocutioner perk. Now here's where the buffs begin. Alpha 21 has removed the Sexual Tyrannosaurus perk from the game, which was a perk that helped reduce stamina cost when using a melee weapon. Now perking into a specific melee skill tree introduces the stamina reduction, meaning players wanting to do anything other than strength don't have to perk into the strength tree just to make a melee build viable. It's a fantastic change that has buffed all melee for all playstyles. Now the more points you put into Electrocutioner, the more damage you do with a baton. The longer stuns last, and the less stamina is used. All the way up to the top level of the perk, which grants 30 stamina for any killing blow. Pause the video to read what each increase level of this perk provides. The overall Alpha 21 melee buff continues with the addition of a brand new perk, Calculated Attack. This is essentially flurry of blows from the old agility tree. Now each melee option has its own dedicated skill, which again is a nice buff for players focusing on one skill tree primarily. There are 3 levels to this perk, each one increases the attack speed with batons, first by 10%, then 17%, and it tops out at 25%. I'm going to be swinging my baton quick like this. And then came the surprise buff that I wasn't expecting to see. So the Physician skill also sits under the intellect tree, and this is a perk that's all about the more effective first aid use and XP boost for using healing items, for the first 3 levels anyway. However, things get interesting at level 4. This level is appropriately named the Amputator. This now gives an additional 20% chance to dismember zombies with batons. Pretty good, right? Well, things get even more interesting at the next level of this perk. Level 5 of Physician gives the player a 10% chance to cause instant death to zombies with each blow landed with a Stun Baton. Now it cannot be understated just how much more powerful this makes the Stun Baton, effectively meaning on average 1 in every 10 swings should land a fatal blow on a zombie. So those who play on insane difficulty and nightmare speed just got interested in the baton. A lot about the baton is stunning zombies in place and pummeling them with the baton until you deplete their HP, which already was an effective strategy. But now, with the chance to one-shot them at any time, this really is a huge buff to the divisive Stun Baton. Now onto the learn by reading or learn by looting mechanic, whatever they decided to call it. The introduction of these magazines does mean that perking into batons doesn't automatically increase the crafting quality levels like it did in Alpha 20. Now we need to read the relevant magazines in order to get our crafting levels up. Now perking into the Electrocutioner does increase your chance to find the magazines that you need to increase the crafting quality level, as well as increasing your chance to find baton parts, which is a really nice touch. The Stun Baton actually carries an unexpected edge over other melee options in the crafting magazines, in that it shares a magazine named Tech Planet with the robotics element of the intellect tree. How is this an advantage? Well, simply put, blades, clubs, knuckles, sledgehammers and spears all have their own dedicated magazines, all of which have 75 magazines that you need to unlock the highest level version of that weapon that you can craft. Let's just use the clubs as an example here, although this does apply to all other melee options as well. To unlock a quality 1 Stun Baton, you need to read 23 Tech Planet magazines. To unlock a quality 1 steel club, you need to read 39 big hitters magazines. To unlock a quality 5 crafting level for stun batons, you need to read 39 Tech Planet magazines. To unlock a quality 5 crafting level for steel clubs, you need to read 75 big hitters magazines. And that's the same for all the other melee options. That gives a huge advantage to stun baton players, as they will be able to max out their melee crafting with a lot less reading than other skill trees. Now of course the old book series still exist, and Tech Junkie is the one that governs stun batons and robotics. There are 3 books specifically under Tech Junkie that will seriously help the baton enthusiasts amongst you. So Tech Junkie Volume 2, that simply means that robots and stun batons degrade 20% slower, which is always nice and useful. Now Tech Junkie Volume 5 is the Stun Repulsor mod. This lets you craft a Stun Repulsor mod for stun batons and send zombies flying on the charged hit. This one is a lot of fun to use. Just watch the zombies go flying away. I've been using it since Alpha 19 and it still makes me laugh whenever I use it. Tech Junkie Volume 6, Charged Strike. This technique gives a 25% chance for a regular and 50% chance for power attacks to instantly charge stun batons. This book is massive to the stun baton build. If you're face to face with a super tough zombie like a feral radiated biker, having the ability to continuously restun them until you wear them out, or get that 10% chance for a killing blow if you've maxed out physician of course, that's a huge boost, and it really solidifies the stun baton as a viable option. Nerd tack candies on top of that can also be used to buff the baton even further, allowing for an AoE that stuns nearby zombies on a charged hit. So if you have a crowd of zombies at the door, this can be great to lock them all in place. Couple that with Volume 6 of Tech Junkie and we're laughing. You may not want to use the repulsor for this strategy because it's easier to keep them all grouped together. I like the idea of having one baton with a repulsor to send zombies flying for day-to-day use, and one-on-one situations, and another one for crowd control where you can lock them in place and just keep them continuously stun locked. Just depends on which situation calls for what. So let's recap. If we max out Intellect, Electrocutioner, and Calculated Attack, we do more damage with batons, swing them faster, and use less stamina. And in turn, we have a boosted chance to find baton parts and books and loot, meaning we can craft a baton after just 23 Tech Planet magazines and a quality 5 after 39 magazines, thanks to the unique way they've structured the stun baton magazines. It should also allow us more chance to find the Tech Junkie books, and if we manage to read volumes 2, 5 and 6, our batons degrade slower, we can craft a mod that sends them flying on a charged hit, and we have a 50% chance to instantly charge the stun baton on a power attack. If we ensure we're stocking up on nerd tats and get that sweet area of effect and max out physician for that 10% chance to insta-kill zombies, then we have an almighty powerful build that has been super buffed for Alpha 21. I mean, yeah, the stun baton used to be a joke when it was first introduced, but that was in Alpha 18. Rightly so, it was terrible then. But it went from useless in Alpha 18 to debatable in Alphas 19 and 20 with the introductions of the Repulsor and Tech Junkie magazines, and I would argue that now it's gone to being outright undeniable in its current state in Alpha 21. Thank you so much for joining me, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do let me know by leaving a like down below. If you're new here and you want to see more content from the channel, why not subscribe today? And a huge special thank you to all the members of Team 25 who support this channel via Patreon and via YouTube channel memberships. Your support really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much, have a good one, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.